Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Super Platformer Bros, and we're going to jump straight into it today. So basically, what I want to do is I want to check out where we left off and what we have done, and we're going to come up with a bit of a game plan for how to move forward. So obviously, the things, just to touch on what we've done, obviously the camera stays in one position. We can collect coins and get a score. We can bounce off the enemy, providing we're not on the edge. We'll fix that later. We can jump off basically anything. There's no errors when we jump over the pit, which is good. And when we get to the end, it calculates our score from the time that we have left to the end. And yeah, and the camera works great, and everything is going fine. And if the player bumps into us, we die. And obviously, we get a bit of an error there, but that's because the camera is trying to find the player, and the player no longer exists, but we'll fix that in a later episode. Nothing to be alarmed about just now. So what I wanted to do is look at what we've got, look at what is left to build, and build on those things, and then after that we will be able to clean up the project, and then after that we'll be able to start fleshing it out with animations and things like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump over into Mario Bros 1 and have a look at what we've replicated and what we need to continue to replicate. So let's jump over to that now. Okay, so we have the character moves around. We have the enemies that can move left and right. We can jump just like Mario. We can bounce on their heads, but the enemies don't die, so we can look at that. So we can look at the enemy dying in this episode. We haven't got any breakable blocks yet, but we can deal with that. And what else is there? I wonder if there's any flowers in this first level. No. Okay, so I suppose to start off with, we will work on. Oh, that's weird. I didn't realize I ended with to start here. Well, we got this other enemy here, which has the shell, and this is something we might be able to bring into an episode. But yeah, so basically we will create the enemy dying. Obviously, all these things, like all these blocks and stuff, you can add by yourself. We can do that in a later episode as well when we start to flesh things out. But just in the prototype stage at the moment, we basically have got nearly everything done. So that's pretty good. So let's work on the first thing first, which is the enemy dying after we jump on their head. So let's jump back over to Unity. And let's look at how to do that. Okay, so when we jump on the enemy, we want to be able to jump, and we want the enemy to die. Okay, so let's open up our scripts. And let's open up our enemy move script, probably. Before we get started, I just want to say thanks again, obviously, to all my Patreon supporters. I'm getting heaps of questions and comments recently, and if you really want some top-notch support where I'll get back to you straight away, consider being a Patreon. If you can't afford it, that's fine. I'll try and get to you in the comments, but my time is a little bit limited, but that's okay. I'll hopefully get to them in time. Yeah, if you do want to support this channel, check out the Patreon. And also, I just want to say hi to the 200 new subscribers that this channel's gotten over the last month. So hi guys, thanks for subscribing, and let's continue to make some sweet games. Alright, so let's see what we got. Okay, and we needed to actually go to the player move prototype script, because that's where we dealt with the add force for the player. But we can also access the enemy via this script here, because we can just, whatever we hit, if hit equals enemy, then it does this code here. So we can just, quick hacky version. So we can just write hit. We can do something as simple as destroy hit.collider.gameObject. I'm pretty sure that'll work. So go back over to Unity, press play. Oh, okay. Well, that was very easy. I wasn't expecting it to be that easy, but yeah, we have a dying enemy. But obviously, I think it could be cool if we did like a little bit some more effects maybe. In the game Braid, when you jump on an enemy, they just ball down. I think that's pretty cool. Let's try something like that. Okay, so we can get a little bit more fancy, and we can say get component rigid body. And we can say dot add force vector 2 dot right times 200, say. So now let's just test that out. So now when we go back to the game and we press play, that was bad. We go back to the game and press play. He should move to the right. If he doesn't, something else is messing with him. Okay, so he is not moving to the right, so let's fix that. So we can say get. I know what you're thinking. Why are we moving to the right? Well, I'll show you. I think I have a pretty cool effect. Actually, we want to say what kind of collider has the the enemy got. He has a box collider, so we can go get component. Oh, no, I've made a mistake, sorry. We want to say, man, how did I miss that one? I made a mistake there. Hit dot collider dot game object dot get component rigid body add force. So just get that. Let's just test that back out again. Sorry, that was a big mistake. Yeah, it still doesn't do anything, which is to be expected. But I'll explain in a sec, just hang on. So hit dot collider dot game object dot get component box collider 2D dot enabled equals false. Okay, so what that does, if we go back over to Unity, is it'll make the box collider not work anymore, which I'm not sure will. Well, slowly goes through the floor now, which is not what we want, and we need to remove the script portion. So let's go back over to Unity and see the script. So on our enemy, we have enemy move here. So what I'm doing is I'm going through and I'm adjusting, the rigid body, the box collider, the enemy move for whatever the player lands on, because this line of code here says, it's asking basically if it's the enemy, and if it is the enemy, then it does this stuff to that enemy. And the way we access that enemy is by saying hit, which is obviously hit.collider, so whatever this raycast hits, and it will do that to this collider and this collider alone because it's in this if statement with the enemy. I know it's hacky, but don't worry, we'll get there. Like I said, at this stage we're prototyping. It's best to prototype, and then we will fix everything up later on. Okay, so another thing we want to do is we want to say hit.collider.gameObject.getComponent. And we want to actually call the script name. So the script name is enemy move. Dot enabled equals false. So obviously, if your script's called something different, you'll have to put that in there. It should autocorrect for you if you look at the menu, or look at the, whatever's being typed in here. It should come up there for you. So yeah, just keep that in mind. So we're just turning that off so the character doesn't continue to move back and forth. Let's give that a test. Yay, the character falls down. That's pretty cool. And we can't get hurt by the player's collider. Should stop working. Yay, okay. We want to probably do some more cool adjustments. Let's say we want to take this rigid body, we'll copy it twice probably, and we want to get rid of this and say rigid body to 2D dots. what else have we got on this? Freeze rotation, we want to turn that off just in case we get some, we want the character to rotate. Cool, and what else? With gravity scale, it's just the gravity scale. $20 equals 20. Okay, let's go back. Yay, it looks cool. Maybe not 20. Maybe let's say 8. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that effect. So you saw how to do it with, like, you know, the Mario way, obviously without animations, which is just to delete the game object. Obviously, you'd put animations in, and then when the animations are finished, you delete the object. But, you know, just with a few extra lines of code, we've made the game a little bit extra fun, and we haven't even done any animations yet. So when we do some animations, it'll be cool. I love that. I love that so much. Does it feel as good when he's jumping from the right to the left, though? That is the question. It's something we can work on later on. The only other thing is we need to make sure that the enemy dies after a certain amount of time. We could put a timer in here. But I think what we'll do is we'll do a disgusting hacky way of doing it. And just go to the enemy move script and say if... Actually, I'm going to put a note here so we remember to fix it. If you write capital TODO, to do, it'll highlight like that so you remember. And we can say fix this disgusting code. And then we can just say if GameObject.transform.position is less than -50, destroy GameObject. So let's see if that works. No, it does not. Let's see what the error is. Sorry, transform position dot y is less than -50. I'm getting a bit rusty. Alright. And look over here. Enemy is still around, which is strange. Let's just see. Okay. Definitely less than negative. Oh, am I getting my maths wrong? Greater than negative. Oh, nope. It's already destroyed it. Okay, I think so. So I think our scripts are messing with each other. Let me just have a look. Okay, so our scripts were talking to each other, were like messing with each other a little bit. If you go over to the enemy move script, this line of code here, it's saying, you know, if you're below -50, then destroy this game object. But then this game object here turns off that script there, like turns off the script from working. you know what? I'm just going to just delete this. What we'll eventually do in the future is we'll probably set a timer or something, or something of that effect when we set the game up a little bit better. But for now, we're just going to make it do the job as quickly as possible. So what we did with the player is, if we open play health script, we just had another script that just said if you're below this position you die. Well, let's just do the same thing with the enemy. So let's just create an enemy health script, and of course we'll use these scripts in the future because we'll eventually have enemies with health, maybe, or possibly, I don't know, but enemy health, and then we can just open that, and we can basically copy the player health script, except we'll just copy the update, delete all this, and then instead of saying die, we can just say destroy game object. Yeah, that took me way too long to just scratching my head trying to work out the best way to do it, and I was like, what am I doing? We're just prototyping. Let's just chill. Let's just take a chill pill and just calm down and just do it the dirty old way. So let's add the enemy health script to the enemy. That's all good. Cool. And so if you apply it to the prefab inside the prefab folder, it'll obviously all the prefabs here that are blue, it'll adjust it on all of them. That's the benefit of a prefab. So we'll press play. Okay, so we've highlighted the enemy there. He's still around. Now if we jump on him, oh, yes. Just gonna zoom out here as well. Sorry about that. And he dies. Happy days. Let's see that again. Watch this screen. When he gets below a certain height, he dies. Yay, he's not there anymore. That's good. Okay, so now we have an enemy that dies, both the Super Mario way, obviously with that animations, and the cool braid way. You could add some more rotations in that if you wanted, or you can adjust things in the future, but for now we'll leave it at that. So yeah, we now have a completely working enemy. We bounce off his head, he falls down. It's in no way perfect, but it's it's getting there, it's getting close. And yeah, let's move on to the next thing. And the next thing we will work on is breakable blocks. So let's get rid of, let's say, this box. We don't need the end level anymore, but let's just, what is the end level? Is this a box collider? Oh, it's just called end level. Actually, let's just leave it there. Get rid of this box, get rid of the enemy, get rid of the coin, and the two grounds there. Yep, canvas fine, event, yep, all good. Alright, so let's create a new, in fact, let's just go to our sprites and drag in this box. There we go. It actually fit pretty nicely. And we're going to add a box collider 2D to it. And we're going to call it, what are we going to call it? What have we got here? Box 2. Very descriptive. Okay, cool. So we've got our box 2 there, and then we just want to move into the player script and adjust the player script to do the same thing as what happens when we land on the enemy. So let's move over to the player script. Let's get rid of some of these. Don't need them anymore. Don't need them open. Play score. Okay. Okay, so we got a raycast down, which is called hit. We want to create a raycast that goes up now. We should adjust all this, but yes, I'm just going to adjust all quickly. So we're just going to, we're going to change the variable name here from hit to ray down, and obviously fix up change all this. There's a shortcut for this, but I've forgotten what it is. Cool. And then we can copy this, paste that. Actually, in fact, we're just going to copy this, and we're going to actually go on top. So obviously ray goes up is on top, makes more sense to me anyway. Ray up, and we're going to say vector2 dot up. So now we're just shooting another ray from the, we're creating a new ray that's just going from the center of the player, or this game object, which is on the player, and then we're just moving up. And then we can just copy this line of code here, dump it in. So if ray, in fact, I'm just going to ray up. Oh my gosh. Ray down. So just copy that, dump it in there. Ray up, ray up, ray up, ray up. So all this is fine, except we need to change this this here. So we'll change it to name just for testing purposes. Add another curly brace on the end of there, so we got a proper if statement, and we're going to say if ray up equals null, and ray up dot collider does not equal null. So that's just to fix the errors that we were getting in the last episode. And then when you jumped over a gap, and then we're just going to say if the distance is less than 0.9, and ray so that's just shooting a certain distance from your player, obviously. And then if ray up dot collider dot name equals enemy, but we're just going to check what the name is called, and we called it box underscore 2. I'm just going to copy that. So once again, I'm just testing things now. I'm going to say debug dot log hit box. Okay, let's test that out. Hitbox, yay, it works. Okay, so instead of saying hitbox, we can say, we can do a bunch of this kind of stuff, but for now I think we're just going to say destroy ray up dot collider dot game object. Let's see what happens. Yay, so it's destroyed. Cool, so that was pretty quick and simple. Obviously, hacky as all hell, we'll have to fix this up. I'm going to leave a note here to fix this disgusting code. We'll fix it all up. So now we have a amazing, thrilling game. I added some cubes next to each other, some boxes. Oh, look at this. This is almost like Call of Duty. This is amazing. Yeah. Yeah, let's look at that. Yeah, it's amazing. But in all seriousness, we're pretty much got all the core mechanics in the form of coding, all the coding done for the main core mechanics of Zelda, of Mario 1-1. So that's pretty good. Like we've come a pretty long way in a short amount of time. Yes, it is all hacky. Yes, we'll have to clean it up. But hey, that's the art of game design. And now we can kind of move on to the next step in the tutorial. I think I'll say that at the end of every tutorial. But anyway. So thanks heaps for checking out this tutorial, guys. Make sure you check out the Patreon. I just want to ask you guys a question before I leave, and that is, how do you watch these tutorials? Do you sit down and type out the code line for line? Do you even type out code? Do you just watch it because it's entertaining and I make fart jokes all the time and you think it's funny? In fact, I don't think I actually make fart jokes, but do you just like watching it, or do you like typing it out, or do you try and follow it like word for word, so you try to basically replicate the same game? Let me know in the comments down below, as I'd really like to know, because I remember when I started out, I just liked watching people. I didn't actually copy what they were doing, but it taught me a lot. But I know other people like to type out exactly what they're seeing on the screen, and that's the way they learn. So let me know how you guys are enjoying these tutorials, and that will help me make our decisions better in the future. I also deliberately left in things in this tutorial, in the last couple of tutorials, where I actually make mistakes, and the reason is because it's important to learn how to debug and to how to fix, learn how to fix the problems yourself. Because if you don't, then you basically you just know how to do one specific task. But to be a programmer, you need to know how to do you need to know how to problem solve. You need to know how to fix the problems that you come up against, and there will always be problems you'll come up against, and that's the point. So yeah, so I left those things in. I hope they're not too long. Let me know what you guys think about watching me debug. Is it enjoyable? Is it too long, too annoying? Let us know. Let us know what you're thinking of these tutorials in the description, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a great time. Peace.